I'm Ebony Williams.
And I am Vern Cooper, and we interrupt this program to continue to talk about The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 5.
5.
Yeah. And I have an error to correct. I last time said that there were 9 episodes in this season, and have since learned that there are 7.
Oh, so we just got 2 more weeks.
I know.
My goodness. I have a question for Craig Mason.
Okay, good.
I have a Craig Mason question. Where are we getting this jewelry? Like, who's doing septum piercings in Seattle?
Like piercings, I need to know who's doing the tattoos. Like, who's doing the body art?
Right. Like, and the cowrie shells, like, this, where did these come from?
There's a whole microeconomy of adornment that would produce this that we just haven't seen yet. So
Yeah, I want to see it. I need to see the beauty supply store. I need to see the tattoo shop. Who's doing the septum piercings?
I got a
Like, I need all
question.
of this. Yes.
Where the fuck is Shimmer?
Okay, so
Where's the
I saw
horse?
something on social media that was like Shimmer is lost. Like it was
Okay,
like
so it's not just me.
no, no,
Okay.
no. Other people are wondering about Shimmer too.
I mean, I guess they can't be stealthy, clip-clopping around on this massive horse, but
Yeah,
where is he? Is he okay? Does he have food and water? Yeah.
I don't know. I hope nobody ate him.
Or, well, let's get into it. Okay, so it's the day after Ellie and Dina have had their first sexual encounter, and they have decided to continue to pursue Abby and her crew. They're still in this theater, and Dina's working, and Ellie's just fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about their relationship for the future, like when they have to be adults based on their skill sets, because Dina's like smart and can do things, and Ellie just wanders around and gets into shit.
I don't know. I think as Ellie wanders around and gets into shit, but I also think we see a different side of her in this episode. Like that part when she's on the stage and she's playing a guitar, like you can see the remembrance of Joel on her face. So I think like she is very, I don't know, remorseful is not the word, reflective in some ways.
She's in an emotionally safe place with Dina now,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that gives her a sense of being able to explore this loss. Something about the production of this episode is that it is 80% shot for shot of the video game action.
Mm-hmm.
That scene with her playing the guitar in the theater, that happens in the video game. And it's also a callback. The video game opens with Joel polishing this guitar that he's going to give to Ellie, and him like calling back to the season 1 when he says he's going to teach her to play guitar, and then he goes to give it to her and he sings her that song. So that song that Ellie started singing in the theater on the stage is the one that Joel sings to her in the game, which was just really sad.
But it also, though, knowing that bit of information, like, kind of ties it up nicely. That at the end, well, you know me. I don't
Yes.
go. I know. Sorry. Well, at some point, I'll just anyway. To see him at the end,
Yeah.
I think to tie those two things in. I didn't know that part about the game.
And you don't have to be someone who gets everything you need to from the TV show, but if you do, it does, like you say, tie those things together. When they were in this theater, I was like, there's a sense for me of what's coming next. It felt very pregnant. It's a weird word. I mean, like
Literal.
yeah, like the tension felt like it was ballooning to a point that it was something was coming.
I mean, but the tension did balloon to a point,
It couldn't really go any further.
It couldn't go any further. What surprised you about this episode?
Something that really became salient for me was Ellie and Dina may know each other. They have a lot of history together, but they haven't yet done the pieces of relationship building where they actually get to know each other. And so the scene where Dina explains to Ellie about her mom and her sister, and I was shocked that was the first time that they had a conversation like that. They've been friends all this time, and Ellie didn't know about Dina's whole history of how she even got to Jackson Hole. And that made me sort of think about like that is actually kind of how people who are romantically interested in one another as friends, like you don't want to give away too much unless you like because you might creep them out or send like push them away or something. You want to keep like a cool exterior.
But I also think that a piece of that is not just, I was gonna say trauma, but I also think it's like a little bit more than trauma. Like we talk about these instances that kind of change our lives and change how we navigate the world. I think that moment was a moment for Dina.
Yeah.
And seeing that, like, we all have that in the world of The Last of Us. We all have a story about the moment our lives changed. I think what is interesting to me about the Dina story is that we even see the trauma after, like after the initial infection, because of like what the world created in terms of raiders and all of these different things, that there were still dangers out there. I mean, and that's what the show was about. The cordyceps are one sort of danger. There are other sorts of dangers out there that are just as dangerous, uh, which are people.
Yeah. And that's a good point because maybe Dina hasn't talked to anybody about it.
Mm.
Maybe this is the first time she's talked about it.
Mhm.
And the point about us not having an emotional connection to the existence of the human threat, like the non-cordyceps human threat, that's true because characters, even in season one, mentioned it. Bill and Frank, we see raiders, but we don't see them inflict trauma or in our minds, Bill and Frank are up to the challenge, right, of these
Mhm.
people. But the thing that Dina describes experiencing is just that's just fucking murder. For no, they're not battling over resources. They're not like this is a person just indulging in just horror impulses because they feel free to.
Yeah,
I think I also was really just struck by the pace of it. It is fully an action sequence. We're not doing character anymore. We're not doing world building. We're on mission.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking, we've talked a couple of times about live streaming while we're watching, and like the whole time I'm like this.
Yeah. And it was over before I knew it
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
was like, oh my God, wait a minute, what? So after Ellie and Dina actually have a conversation, they have two conversations about whether Dina should continue. And Dina
Mm-hmm.
finally quashes this debate with she tells this story, but she doesn't only tell it as a way to relate to Ellie. It's part of her reason for wanting to continue to hunt Abby down because Ellie watched them do this to Joel.
Mm-hmm.
And so in her mind, I think she's sort of imagining if she had had to watch her mother and sister die the way Ellie had to watch Joel die.
Yeah. I was conflicted during that moment because I hate it when somebody is like, you decide. This is, I'm putting your life in my hands. So you tell me if you want me to go back, I can go back. If you want me to keep going, like, just tell me what you want to do. Like, I just,
I feel like this is Ellie's call. Like, I feel like Ellie's got to be the one who says, like, this is stupid. We are risking your life and our future. And it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, I'm waiting on that shift for Ellie in particular to go, like, I lose this future with my person that I love and the child that she's carrying if I keep going down this path.
Ellie can't have it all.
Mm-mm. I don't think that's where we're going because look at the kind of parent figure Joel was based on his increasingly violent nature. I mean, they eventually reached a place where they had a really difficult time connecting to one another.
Yeah. I think though the difficult time connecting though, I think it goes back to this whole conflict between parent and child, caregiver and person being taken care of. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's that struggle. Like I want to be able to function without you hovering over me. Like Joel, I want to be able to have a fight. And again, like the whole pulling the punches. I think like throughout this season we've seen how big Joel is when it comes to Ellie. And so just thinking in terms of like the whole caretaker thing, I think that that's also a place where that conflict comes from.
It's his violent nature that makes him that kind of presence.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Ellie is sort of marching toward being that kind of presence for her child.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Like, I think sometimes we think if I make one decision, I can't go back and make another. You know, it may be wishful thinking. I hope Ellie learns that, okay, you know what? Like, you know
I
what?
think
Okay,
that's
I tried this. I can do something different.
and I hope that that's what's coming because I don't think Ellie's irredeemable. I
Mm.
think Gail is wrong. I think Gail is saying Ellie can't be saved from some trauma that she has or whatever. Or she's just incorrect. Sometimes people are just wrong.
Well, she's foreshadowing.
Because I think that Ellie, yeah, that too. Because Ellie is what we learn after they go on, we learn that she is just fully bathed in violence. Like she has a very violent nature. And I don't think that makes her irredeemable. I think anybody can learn or choose to be a better person, to treat people better than they used to. I just don't have a lot of patience for narratives that, like you said, choose up an arbitrary point, like you make this decision, there's no going back. It's like
You know,
maybe I make this decision, I die, but it doesn't mean that if I survive it, I can't become a better person.
right, right. Yeah. And I can always choose something different at any time. I can always turn around
Yeah.
until I can't turn around, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of ways this conflict could come to a head for Ellie. It could be about her own life, or it could be about Dina's life.
Mm.
It could be neither, and it could simply be what kind of person do I want to be from now on.
There are also some other stakes involved too when we think about who else is in Seattle now too.
Yes.
So Tommy and Jesse,
Guess
like
what else you called? Do you
I
remember?
know,
Do you?
I do. You know what?
uh, we got to get you out of Craig Mason's head.
No, let me stay
Yeah.
there. Let me stay there.
But they go to yet another place
Mhm.
into another situation that they can't survive.
Mhm.
This made me have a question too. Dina's triangulating their path to get to the hospital. And they're like, this huge warehouse. Nobody goes near this huge warehouse. It's probably full of infected. Why didn't they fucking know? Why didn't they put it together that it was the smart infected?
How would they have put that together?
Because they know about the smart infected and these people avoid it. I don't know. It just made me think like they would have had that thought at least.
That it was a smart infected?
That it
I
was,
would I don't know though. I didn't have that thought.
oh,
Like I had the infected thought, but I didn't necessarily think it would have been the smart one.
that was my first thought was like, there's only one new variable that they know of. They don't know about the spores yet at this point that would have actually caused all of Seattle to avoid this place
Yeah.
because it wouldn't be regular infected because they could just take them out.
Yeah.
So they're losing people every time they go near this place, which
Uh,
makes me think they're coexisting.
huh.
The smart infected and the wolves and everybody else,
Yeah. They're coexist.
they're
And
just
you know
leaving each
what
other
else
alone.
made me think about them coexisting? Is continuing to live in the hospital with the spores. Like I said to myself, why don't y'all just leave?
On another spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they go anyway, knowing that this is almost certainly some sort of really dangerous place.
Mhm.
And they get in there. I found this really scary. I thought
It
it
was
was
scary.
really effective.
It was very yeah. Yeah, it was very scary. I think for me what the scariest piece of this was that the infected are so smart that they know how to play what are they called? Stalkers? Yeah, they're able to be stealthy.
Yes, stealthy, right. They hid their numbers.
Mhm. Mhm.
They were like in hiding and they didn't reveal how many of them there were until they were about to attack.
Yeah.
This is the point in this show where we basically stay beat for beat with video game style play, where again,
Oh. Mm,
crouching down with them. Every time they go up to look is when we go up. That's
mhm,
a really scary technique, camera technique. It's like you can't see what's happening until it's right in the front of the character's face.
mhm.
That's very gameplay. And then they very quickly realize, like, okay, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose this one. And
Yeah.
they plan protect Dina, and Ellie's gonna sacrifice herself. Obviously, we knew that someone had to come in and save them. It still did surprise me that it was Jesse.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was like, somebody's gonna have to come in and save them, but I thought maybe they were gonna be discovered by the wolves or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, like I knew it. As soon as somebody else started shooting, I was like, mm-hmm.
You're in trouble.
Yeah,
He bad as
you are
hell.
in trouble. So mad. So mad. I mean, yeah.
I would be mad. Just I think it goes back to the conversations we've been having about mentoring people in parts of their life that you've already been through,
Yeah.
letting them make their dumb mistakes, but worrying that one of them is going to be too dumb. Where I'm from, so a lot of people I went to high school with are dead already, um, and my mom has this way of phrasing it. She says, they died of, "Hey guys, watch this." So just doing redneck shit. Um, because nobody said, "Don't, that's not a good idea. Don't do that."
So like accidents. Okay.
Yeah, accidents are a big cause of death, where I'm from, like isolated places without, there's not a lot of economic opportunity. There's not a lot to do. And so we die of just filling the time. And filling the time is dangerous sometimes.
Mm. The idle hands. What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, well, so Jesse comes in and Dina and Ellie have to lie to him real quick and say, no, 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 she wasn't bit.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to have to tell him, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was actually just thinking about that as I was preparing for today. Like I was thinking, it's like Tommy knows, right? And yeah, Tommy does know.
Right.
And I was thinking Jesse is gonna have to find out at some
He's
point.
the only person of this group that doesn't know. Things just, they do not calm down. Like, this is not an escape, right? Jesse saves them momentarily, but they have to exit quickly, and the wolves immediately are on them. They know they're out there
Hmm.
and start firing on them.
Then they head to the woods, and then it's the other group. What's the Seraphites?
Seraphites.
Hey, I want to know who she is.
So, am I misremembering this? Did we see a picture?
I don't remember seeing a
Maybe it was in
picture.
the after, maybe it's in the preview of next episode.
Okay.
I swear in my mind, I remember seeing an image. It's not a photograph, but it's like a drawing. What we opened with was them discovering the spores.
Which Chekhov's infected, right?
Yeah, and this is a video game mechanic that was left out of the first season because it didn't really serve the way the story was going to unfold.
Hmm.
So, yeah, now we have the original infection mechanic, which is live spores in the air that you breathe in and they infect you. And these are inside the wolf's home base of the hospital.
The spores are very interesting to me because I'm not clear on how much time was it a day between the time that what was the guy's name? Leon?
Leon, yeah, Park.
Leon, the time that Leon was closed in, Leon and the person he was with was closed into that area. Like, we don't know how much time. It surprised me how quickly they became a part of the infection.
It was really fast. It was like as fast as a bite on the neck, like if not
Mm.
faster, because it's I guess it goes into your bloodstream immediately, like into your heart and all that, into your brain.
So, like, going back to the first season, and you know how we saw that body that just kind of sprouted, and like he's on the basement wall, like when Tess and Joel go to that building
Yeah.
for the first time. So that's what I think about when I see these
Yeah.
two
It looked
people.
very similar.
It looks very similar, but we know it happened much faster,
Much faster, and they're still breathing.
and they're still breathing.
Like they're actually very animated. They're heavily infected and they can't move, but they're super aware. It's so terrifying. Which is
So terrifying. It's
That's
so
actually
terrifying.
how the actual cordyceps, like the one in our world, that's how it works. The body stays functional, and the insect that's infected with it just does whatever it says. It compels it to go to a high point so that it can release the spores.
Yeah.
Fungi, by the way, scare the fucking shit out of me. I'm so scared of spores, fungi. I don't like. It just creeps me out, the idea that I could breathe them in. Um,
So they go into the forest, and that whole scene with the guy and what they do to that guy,
it's brutal.
it's so brutal. It's so
Yeah.
brutal. Why did we need that?
Well, I think we actually talked about this in episode 2 or 3. We saw the aftermath before of those folks hanging
Yeah,
around. And so
yeah.
we saw it actually happen this time. And it was just, this was beyond even Joel or Ellie's cruelty, right? Like when Joel and Ellie get carried away, I'm not excusing it, but it's in a heightened state. It's usually a fight or flight, they're fighting for their life kind of thing, and they just get so activated they can't stop themselves from committing violence. This was calculated and premeditated,
Mhm.
and it was also ritualized.
Yeah. And it's so cool. Like, it gutted this man alive.
And the way they did it too,
It's
this was so interesting to me, like the way it was shot. We had this like far away shot on him, and he puts the hook in him, and they raise him up instead of him drawing the hook down. Did you notice that?
I didn't. I mean,
So
I
he
see it now, but in the moment, I don't think it occurred to me like that.
it was like everybody had to take part. It had to be everybody's action that did this, not just him doing this. Like he puts it in, and then the rest of the group pulls on this rope and brings him up and slices him open. It was truly a full group effort to disembowel this man. We get the title of the episode, Feel Her Love, from a scene where Ellie and Dina see a slaughtered group of Seraphites, and they had written Feel Her Love on the wall, and then their bodies were piled under it, and the wolves who killed them had written something like "Feel this bitch." I can't remember. They wrote a response to it.
Does that remind you of when you're in the darkness, look for the light?
Yeah. So the name Seraphite too. This is interesting. Seraphim is a kind of angel.
Hmm.
So they've named themselves after a Christian religious figure or a religious figure. Maybe that's what they see their prophet as. Maybe they think she's an angel now. Anyway, so it's like in from this one certain death thing into this like extreme experience of seeing this horror and disembowelment, and then Dina gets shot. And I was like, what next? Because at that point I was like, oh God, they're fucked.
But okay. Did you feel like you knew Ellie was running towards there, or did it feel like she just got lost and found herself there?
I think that that's what happened. I think an opportunity presented itself.
Yep, yep, yep. That I felt that way too.
It's
I
like
felt like,
temptation.
yeah,
She didn't set her intention to ditch Jesse and Dina, but the it just was there and she couldn't resist it.
yeah, yeah. Um, Here's another thing. So when we find Nora, and then Ellie chases Nora, and they end up going down an elevator shaft, eventually going to where the people
They
where
find
park.
Leon.
Yep, they find Leon, and the other person, and they're breathing in these spores. I mean, I guess if Ellie is immune, she's immune.
I
Period.
was still like, is there a point where she's no longer immune? Like,
And I wonder that too. And you said something a couple of weeks ago about her not fully being human. And I don't think I thought of it that way. Like, I still thought, she was human, but then this idea that she's actually part cordyceps.
it's on her brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's a part of her. And the way that fungus functions is it controls your actions. It forces you to do the things it needs to do. That's its procreation cycle. It infects something that can move, makes it climb up really high, releases spores. That's its life cycle.
So will Ellie release spores?
I hope not. Man, I'm not ready for that.
Also, though, like when she gets bitten, the cordyceps like form like little vines or veins
I
in her
swear,
skin.
I thought they were growing too. I
Yeah.
thought that there was a scene where it was like each time it just looked a little bigger to me a couple of times than it was at first. So, like, I have been kind of thinking that a lot of is this a evolving thing for her?
Yeah. And you just said something that I'm going to have to process about how the cordyceps control your behavior. What if that's the thing that Gail was trying to tell us? Like the cordyceps are controlling Ellie's behavior.
Maybe like that's what she's foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's I think Gail is right in some ways, but she doesn't have enough information to be correct. She's right that Ellie and Joel are very, very alike.
Mhm.
And they were alike before they met one another. And I think that sometimes it's just like that with people. Sometimes you meet somebody and it's just like you were separated at birth. And I think that it's also possible that this violence in Ellie is in some way related to what's living inside her.
Yeah.
And that's a really good metaphor for a lot of the things that affect our behaviors, a lot of the things that can cause a person to have struggles with, like, say, addiction, right? We know that childhood trauma
Mhm.
can affect a person's likelihood to experience addiction. So I mean, that would be cool, but it also makes me have a really, like, a lot of fear for Ellie.
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. So, the thing that they say about trauma, so like ACEs, like being in that fight or flight mode, affects our brain chemistry. So, like, thinking about brain chemistry, Ellie's brain chemistry is infected by the cordyceps, is affected by the cordyceps.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Man, I'm telling you, if I had a wish,
You know, we got to take this to Comic Con or something. We get a presentation. No, like there's comic book conferences, like academic conferences. We should make a
okay,
presentation
let's
about
do
this.
it. Let's do it. I just need to sit down with Craig Mason. I just need like,
You know what's like? I want all the things like when you play the video game. There's extra scenes you can unlock if you do certain things. I want that from this.
I like to be able to unlock certain
Yeah, I'm
scenes.
like, tell me about this. Like, just click
Yeah,
on the screen. Like, what's
I
that?
just want to know. Like,
Yeah,
and again, I need to see the beauty supply store. I want to see the person doing the art
I need
and
it.
the person doing the septum piercing. Those
Yeah,
are the things that I need to see.
I think we're gonna get a flashback about Ellie's tattoo.
You think so?
Just based on a snippet of a conversation from a preview. But about Nora though, there's something that happens when Ellie first corners her. And it's the first time that we really feel like Ellie is actually dangerous. Like she's
Mm,
always felt a little dangerous, but here there's no one to stop her from doing something terrible.
yeah, she felt like Joel. She definitely felt like Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holding a gun on this woman
yeah.
and ordering her around and threatening her. And Nora taunts her.
Hmm.
She mocks her about killing Joel. Why did she do that? Just couldn't resist it, or did she think that she could get away by
She thought she could get
distracting?
away.
Okay.
She thought she could get away.
Yeah.
No question. I believe that that's what it was. That she thought she could get away.
And she did. She does. She escapes for a while. She distracts Ellie by making her upset about Joel, saying he deserved to die the way he did. And Ellie chases her and people are firing at them. Another really like heavy action sequence, very video game. We're chasing a character down hallways and she's throwing obstacles out, which also happens in the game. It was cool to see just an action sequence of just Bella Ramsey pursuing someone.
Hmm.
And then we get to ultimately a place where Nora has to decide, she had to choose between two deaths. And I think she thought she was going to take Ellie out with her. I think
Mm.
that's why she went down there.
You do?
Yeah, because
Huh.
she knew going down there would kill her, but she also
So I wondered about that because I was like, why would she go down there?
she was cornered.
Surely she knew what was down there.
Yeah, um, because she was able to tell us when we got down there. If she hadn't already known, then she wouldn't have known to tell us, the
Yeah,
viewer. So she was cornered. She reached the end of that there because they had blocked it off, and she knew that if she stayed up there, Ellie would kill her. If she went down and made Ellie pursue her, she thought she would kill Ellie too.
little did she know.
But here's my thing though: she should have known because she's seen Ellie before.
But why do you think she should have known?
Because she knew then. Like Ellie, when they're killing Joel, right? Abby's torturing Joel and they're in the lodge. And Ellie comes in and tries to save Joel and reacts the way she does when Joel is killed. She should have known then that Ellie was the girl that Joel killed everybody to escape.
Yeah, yeah.
So the only thing I could come up with to maybe salvage that little plot hole was she didn't quite believe that Ellie actually was immune.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
But she went,
And
"You're her."
it goes back to something said in the beginning. Didn't they make like a comment in the first episode, something about,
Not believing it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that was interesting too, like just even to be someone. Okay, so to go back to this place where we were talking about different ways of making sense of the world. The
Mhm.
Seraphites have their method of trying to make sense of the world. The wolves have theirs. The fireflies have their, science approach. And then along the way, we've got the Bills and the Franks and the native couple living up in Montana, Jackson Hole, just trying to vibe. But even something like science takes a level of faith. The scientific method is supposed to be like and it's not. Spoiler alert: the scientific method is fallible and has bias inside it.
How dare you?
Exactly. But its purpose is to try to help us make error reduced error progress towards solving a problem. But we don't always have that luxury, and so the Fireflies didn't. So these folks had to take it on faith.
Yeah, my goodness. That's so deep. Like, and then you taking it on faith that this cure is going to work. If it doesn't, you just killed a girl.
Killed a child, and then you gotta experience someone coming to save that child, taking something from you. I mean, the way that they show the cycle of violence is in
Yeah,
everything. It's not just,
just in everything.
yeah, because talking about religion, we reviewed Sinners on another episode of the show, and we're talking about how religion is a lot of people's ways of trying to make sense of the world, but it's also a tool people use to control people.
Yeah, yeah. The sinners. It's so interesting. All of these things are interesting. I don't know. One of the things I want to think about is like the social commentary. What are they saying to us? What is Ryan Coogler saying to us? What is Craig Mazin saying to us? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit.
That's an excellent question, and I have thought about it. I hadn't quite thought about it in the context of Sinners yet, but I have been thinking about it in terms of The Last of Us, and it's starting to feel a little like encouragement to maybe know when to challenge your beliefs,
Mm,
know when to evaluate yourself and your responses to things, to try to, I guess, reduce the horrors that we perpetuate over and over again on each other. Because a lot of the stuff that a lot of the worst things we do is because we didn't think first. We reacted with our emotions or our beliefs.
yeah.
The scene or this episode ends in a really disturbing way. Plenty of disturbing shit already gone on in this episode.
You found it disturbing?
I did it. Yeah. No, no,
My
no, no,
goodness.
no. Sorry, not the flashback.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
This narrative, the
Okay, let me just
story.
say,
No, the story of
Pedro Pascal is so fine to me. He came on that screen. Joel.
yeah. But I meant Nora's story.
Okay, sorry.
I did say episode, so it's fair. It's a fair
Yeah,
response.
yeah.
And it was a little bit of an escalation from how it played out in the video game.
Mm,
So in the video game, Ellie still says, I can, she didn't say I can make it stop. I think she said I can make this easier. I can make it hard. And in this version, she doesn't even actually seem interested if Nora tells her. She's going to
no,
do what she's going to do
she's gonna do what she's gonna do. Yeah, definitely.
because she's just in pain and she needs to get some of that shit out onto somebody else. It's that hurt people thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And Nora didn't even kill nobody.
She was guilty by association.
In Ellie's mind, that's what I was thinking is like Ellie might say, "Oh, I just want you to tell me where Abby is. I'm only going to kill Abby," because she literally told Dina that. But I don't think she meant it. I think she wants to kill all of them because she didn't seem like she wanted to stop hurting Nora.
Yeah. And that scene, like, I knew she wasn't gonna stop. Like, okay, Ellie, you're a liar. We know this about you.
And Nora's infected, so she's gonna die.
She's gonna die,
So
yeah.
in a way, Ellie kind of has a scapegoat there of like, oh, I can just put her out of her misery.
I don't know. I don't think of it as a scapegoat. I thought of it as not putting her out of her misery, but
extending it.
or like, oh, you're gonna die, but you're gonna die by my hands. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
She wants to be the one who kills all of these people.
Mhm.
And maybe that's it. It's like, what's going to happen when she actually finds Abby? Because she's going to find Abby last.
Yeah, she will.
Will she have killed all of these other people?
Right. Will she have killed all of these other people? And like, just in terms of her fighting skills, like, will she be able to handle these
Yeah.
other people?
She does still kind of suck at some things.
You know?
We're seeing her improve, though.
Right. And thinking about these people who are part of this group, who have training that she does not have, who have insight, who know Seattle in a way that she doesn't know it. Like,
She just keeps doing the dumbest stuff.
yeah.
How's she going to get out now?
How is she gonna get out?
They know she's down there. They probably just sealed her in. She's going to have to go out some other way.
So the other thing that I wondered too, I'm sure she'll find a way out, if the spores will be on her body.
I thought about that too. I was like, you better strip down and burn them clothes.
Right. Strip down and burn them clothes.
'Cause that's what I would think. I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere near. Because how long did they live?
You don't know. There's no way of knowing.
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing.
And now she's got to explain herself to
Yeah,
Dina.
she has to explain herself.
That's going to be ugly. They're gonna have to have a fight eventually, like a real fight.
Here's what I don't want for Ellie. I don't want revenge to keep her from being happy, from a community,
Yeah.
from love, from partnership. Like, I don't want that revenge to keep her from those things, but it will.
It could. I think that's what the theme is like you have to choose between going on a killing spree and being a good parent or role model. Because I mean, we said this a couple times. We love Joel, but he wasn't a great role model.
He was a good role model for Ellie.
Yeah, but Ellie's weird. Her kid's gonna be normal. She's gonna be a role model for a
That's
normal
true.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things Ellie's up against, she needed somebody like Joel. Like only Joel could have been Ellie's dad.
Yeah.
But how is Ellie gonna be this kid's dad? I mean, the possibilities for a parent who is prone to extreme violence or a partner.
Yeah. But also, though, I think it goes back to what we've been saying, that theoretically she could change.
Yes, absolutely. And I
You
think
know, she could walk away and say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to
that's
live this way.
that's really what I hope for her. I hope that when the decision comes, when there is the moment where she finally reaches a point where if she goes one step further, that's it. Then I hope that she turns around.
Is that what happens in the video game?
I don't know.
I don't want to play it. I want to play it sometime.
So I am only doing like episode by episode analysis
Okay.
because I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, so do you know and you just not telling me?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I love this tension. I think it's a nuanced way because they live in a world that necessitates violence to a certain
Mhm.
degree.
Yeah, it
So
does.
how, like the raider that killed Dina's family, how far is this allowed to go? And why were these folks even with Abby? Like, especially if a lot of them didn't want to be there.
I mean, isn't it like the same?
They
Like
cared
the
about
same
her.
as, well, also though, like thinking about the Seraphites, thinking about the wolves. Is it the wolves? The wolves? The
Yeah, I
thing,
think so.
thinking about all of these people, I think the Abby friend group is just another smaller kind of example of that. Just
It's
like Dina. Why did Dina go with Ellie?
exactly because she cares about her.
Yeah,
And because, like Joel says, you keep going for other people.
yeah,
And all that's keeping Ellie going is wanting to get revenge for Joel. And all that was keeping Abby going was wanting revenge for her dad.
yeah,
And sometimes when we are like not dealing with things correctly, our friends are kind of helpless. Like they just got to be there until we come to our senses.
yeah.
Yeah, these people might be guilty by association to Ellie, but they were just trying to be there for their friend. And then, yes. Actually, what happens right before the flashback? Ellie's beating Nora with this fucking pipe. And so it fades to black and we open on a Ellie
Yeah.
asleep.
You know, when it faded to black, I was like, I hope is this the end? Like, and I had forgotten because, like, being on social media. See, here's the thing about social media
No,
is
did you get
that
spoiled?
I did. I guess I did. But I forgot. Like, I was so wrapped up in the episode that I didn't even remember. So when it happened, I was like, oh. So
That's
yeah,
good.
so it still kind of caught me by surprise. But it reminded me of that morning when Sarah woke up. It felt the same to me.
Yeah. And it wasn't just, it was one like second
Hmm.
of what their life was probably like for years after they got to Jackson Hole. Like
Hmm.
they got to actually be father and daughter and
Hmm.
have days like that where
Yeah.
she wakes up and he says, "Hey," and then they go do whatever they do next.
Right. Which is like if we want to take it back to Sarah, a difference. You know, Sarah's the first one that wakes up. Sarah's the one that makes sure he's up.
Oh yeah.
This one, like, is kind of flips. Like Joel is the caretaker here.
He's the adult now.
Yeah.
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 Which Ellie needs. She's very much not an adult. Yeah. And we know that it could be very soon after they make it to Jackson Hole because Joel looks younger. He
He
looks like he
looks
did when they
younger.
got there.
He looks younger. He looks very good too.
What do you think we're in this flashback to explore?
I think we find out when Joel tells Ellie what he did.
Oh, that's right. We totally skipped over that because Nora's like, "Don't you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah,
Joel did? Don't you know that he did all this?" And Ellie says, "Oh, I know."
yeah, yeah.
And
I love that part. I was like,
so,
yes,
and
that's what I
even
want to happen.
and this is that sympathy for the devil trope.
Yeah.
The show is tempting us to side with Ellie right before she does something unconscionable
Mhm.
because we're supposed to feel vindicated or whatever. And I did. I fell for it. I was like, "Yeah, man, get her, get her." But it's called Sympathy for the Devil. John Milton in Paradise Lost opens with Lucifer giving this rousing speech. He's listing all the grievances they have against God, all the unfairnesses, and he's explaining to the soon to be fallen angels why they need to attack the throne. Milton is tempting us to side with Satan. So the trope sympathy for the devil, though, means when a TV show or a book or something like that is tempting you to side with a character that has an immoral lens.
Yeah. I am loyal to a fault. I am so loyal. So when you got me invested, Ellie, do what you need to do. Like,
I was like, get her.
yeah, right, right.
And then
Look,
afterwards, I was like, oh, man, okay, whatever. She shouldn't have been there to begin with.
she should not have been there. Yes, you're right.
And so,
She should
like,
not have been there.
she shouldn't have been in the situation. We can trace all of the things, we can trace this action back to all the places where she should not have made the decisions she made. Maybe it's more about like what she's prioritizing.
Does she get out of Seattle?
I hope so.
Because if we're counting the days, how, like,
There's 2 episodes left. A lot of shit's going to go down in these next 2 episodes. And one of them is a fucking flashback. Episode 7 is going to be just balls to the wall action. It's going to be, it better be 90 minutes long.
it's gonna be an hour.
I
And
know.
that'll be 45 minutes.
Oh, maybe not the whole of the next episode is a flashback, but I think we're going to spend a good amount of time.
I can see it being like episode 7 from
Mhm.
season 1.
A frame episode.
Yeah, yeah. So we still get a little bit about what's going on, but then we get the history behind it too.
It needs to make sense for why we're doing it. Like it has to correlate to something that's happening in the story during the story that we're watching. Yeah, I'm worried. Something I'm starting to get like this feeling of the blues that it's coming to an end because there's still so much to do. And I don't want to, I'm afraid there's going to be a cliffhanger.
There's going to be a cliffhanger. Just go ahead and ease yourself into that.
But I mean, like an intolerable cliffhanger. Do you remember when episodes or when TV shows in the 80s and 90s actually ended for the whole fucking summer? Like
Uh-huh.
the cliffhanger at the end of third season of Star Trek The Next Generation ruined my life.
Which one was that?
It was the war.
I don't remember. We are up here talking about this. You talking about Milton, and I was like, I haven't read Milton in 30 years.
It's been a
Like,
long time, yeah.
it's been a long time.
To be
Like,
honest, that's the part I remember. I couldn't tell you anything else about Paradise Lost.
I remember like the 7 levels. Is it nine? Seven
That's
levels
Dante.
there. But so Milton is pandemonium, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And that's actually that's that scene. It's the pandemonium is
Okay.
when Lucifer's giving that talk. Yeah. This is why people are going to tune into us, because we get off topic and talk about stuff we read 30 years ago. You don't get this quality anywhere else.
No, you don't. You don't.
Subscribe and like.
A liberal arts education. It's like
I'm,
becomes of it.
I'm gonna get my little degree and put it behind me, and I'll just point to it every time I say
Yeah.
something. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I guess going back to how we started talking about this, like stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves are instructive. Like we intend them to be commentary on how we go about the world and how we conduct ourselves in relation to others, especially. I mean, not always. There's those classic narratives, right? There's man versus man versus nature, man versus himself. Where is man versus other man? Or man in relation to man getting along with? Show me the story of how communities that have different approaches and different beliefs leave each other alone.
Where does that happen?
I don't think we like to tell that story.
I mean, that story is not exciting. There's no drama. People who protect their communities like that also use violence.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about that one.
And competition, I don't know if we're going to get there in this show. I don't know if we're ever going to get down to that nitty gritty, like how do you procure resources when they're scarce and somebody else needs them too? I am super interested in the idea of how these smart infected, the stalkers, and the wolves are coexisting. Because it's inarguable that they are. We've seen that, right? These folks live here, these folks live there. They don't go near each other. What are they eating? Do they eat Shimmer? You thought it at the same time, dude.
It's just such a not good thought.
Oh no.
So, and that takes me back, that episode with what's his name? David. That episode messed me up.
Oh man, that
It
one was.
really messed me up.
Do you think we've had the? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's okay. No. That was done.
Do you think that we've had the David episode yet?
No. And you know what? If our David episode has anything to do with Isaac, after what he showed me the other Sunday,
Mm.
I don't want no parts in that.
And it also makes me wonder, like, where's Abby in all of this?
Where's Abby? I just got questions. Like I cannot wait to see how this unfolds. Like,
Yeah.
where is she in relation to Isaac?
Yeah, where's she in Seattle? Is she still alive? Like, is she okay?
Is Isaac's number 2 lady? Is that her mother?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a way to guess. So it's interesting because Abby did say before, like, she doesn't recommend anybody go to Seattle. She's not having a good time there.
Yeah.
She doesn't enjoy Seattle. And nobody has yet confirmed that she's there.
But we've seen everybody else that we would have seen. Well, no, we've seen what, 2 people?
2 people. We saw
Manny
and Nora. We haven't seen the other 2.
No, 3. It was 3, right?
Oh, the woman, the one who was crying. I don't remember her name. And the boy, the Dawson's Creek boy. Like,
He was on Dawson's Creek?
No, but he looks like James Vanderbeek in Dawson's Creek to me. He looked exactly like sort of like an overgrown mixture of Daniel Radcliffe and James Vanderbeek to me. So I started calling him Dawson's Creek in my head, and now I can't remember his actual name. But we haven't seen them 3 yet. And they were also the 3 that didn't want to. Sorry, those 2 that were with Abby, they didn't want to kill Joel. So where's Abby, and where's the 2 that we know have a conscience about this?
And what's Abby doing? Like,
is she drunk somewhere?
Yeah, how is she coping with all of this?
I think what we're gonna be confronted with when we do see Abby again is that killing Joel didn't fix her, didn't provide her any closure on her father's death. And is it just another kind of wound? I mean, what does killing someone do to your brain? What does it do to your mind? I cannot even imagine.
I don't know.
I remember, so after when my brother was going to Iraq, the night before he deployed, he was really concerned about having to kill people. Um, it was really stressful to him. I to even see someone that you didn't know could have thoughts like that. I didn't. It's not that I thought he was stupid, and I didn't think he was a bad person, but I didn't know that there was this compassion for other people deep down inside there.
How
And
old were you?
I was 24, and he was 23. But so he was killed when he was 25. So every time I saw him in between that, he was just a little fucking weirder. Like this process of being in war was changing him, was doing things to him. And so it's no wonder that these folks who come back from stuff like this are not well.
Yeah.
And so I just extrapolating from what we know about what happens to people who go to war, killing Joel isn't going to fix Abby, isn't going to make what she was already dealing with any easier. I think maybe that's what we're trying to say when we talk about like, is revenge really, it might feel good. It might even feel like it's the morally right thing to do, but is it good for you?
Like thinking about keeping going for other people. I think for Abby, keeping going for other people was keeping going to avenge her dad.
Mhm.
So then what do you do when that's over? I think that that's the same question that we're asking.
Yeah.
Um, and I just kind of want to look at it from this side of that was the thing that fed her for these years.
Five
How do
years.
you how do you cope when it's gone?
Yeah. It's over. What's the new goal?
Yeah,
And does it have to be a bigger, more violent goal? Like, does it need to escalate? I don't know. I'm super interested in that too.
2 more weeks.
I know. I'm sad, but I'm also excited. And there's going to be
I'm
season 3.
excited. Yeah.
Isabella Merced has confirmed that they are doing principal photography right now.
Okay.
So that means no
And you
going
know
back.
what? I'm shaking my head like I know what principal photography is. What is principal photography?
It's so the stages of production, there's pre-production. Principal photography is when filming actually begins. So it can be filming of sets, it can be some characters or, B-roll. They could be, so it's actually when they start committing images to film.
Final thoughts. Next week we see Joel. I think we get to see more of what their life was like,
I think we're
if not
gonna,
even just a little bit. I think we get to see the moment that Joel tells Ellie the truth. I think we get to see more of the therapist, Gail. I think we get to
Gail,
see more Gail.
there'll be more Gail. I think that there'll be more Ellie and Dina. Like more moments of them. Like maybe now we'll see it injected
Hmm.
with some of what is to come for them. That'll be fun.
And at some point, Jesse's gonna have to find out Dina's pregnant.
Oh my God. I was thinking about that when he was running with her, and I was like,
Yeah,
"You gonna lose your mind."
you are gonna lose your mind.
I mean, for real though, like this could be actually an issue. um,
He's going to lose his mind.
yeah. All right. Well, join us next time for season 2, episode 6 of The Last
Episode
of
6.
Us. And like, subscribe, do whatever the thing is on whatever platform you're watching this.
And send this to Craig Mason so we can get questions answered.
Tag Craig Mazin in this, or Neil Druckmann, or whoever, because we have burning questions.
We have questions.